All rise. County Court meeting of Clay County is now in session. County Mayor Danny Cook presiding.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join us in prayer, please. Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity we have to come together to serve our fellow citizens. We pray that you'll watch over this meeting and everything will be done properly and will be pleasing to you. Lord, we thank you for the blessings you've given to each one of us. You've been so good. We just remember those in our community who suffered loss and have needs right now. There's so many needs in our community. We just pray that you touch each family as you see fit. Again, thank you for your love and all that you do. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody got enough paper tonight?
How about that?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't have anything, but I do cough. I'm sorry. All right, good to see everybody tonight. Thank you all for coming. And we'll do our roll call.
Barker.
Here.
Dean.
Here.
Hatley.
Here.
Hayes.
Here.
Tippit.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Whitson.
Here.
Yates.
Here.
Pierce.
Nobody here except Terry. We have enough to have a meeting tonight. All right, minutes, you have a copy of minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the January meeting.
Second. And second by Johnny, is that correct? I couldn't see your face. Motion and second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say aye. Motion passes. Trustees report.
Your trial balance is in your packet. Just remember, we're working on borrowed money. We're gonna have to pay that money back to debt service, 400,000 out of 101, 100,000 out of 116. And I would say probably that 116 line item probably doesn't have 100,000 in it, so.
Any questions, anything?
Do we have to pay that ARP money we got in December?
Do we have to pay what now?
Do we have to pay it back? Put it back in to the ARP fund?
To the best of my knowledge, ARP, I think we can do whatever we need with it.
You have to let the comptroller know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, we just have to tell them what we're doing with it. We just have to give them a word on that.
Yeah.
Is that it, Matt? Is that all?
Mhm.
Okay.
And you got, now we got 500,000, right?
We got 500,000 from debt service. So 500,000 was put into 101 in August. Another 100,000 was put into 101 in September. And then another 100,000 was put into 116 in September. We started collecting taxes, and by December, our 101 general fund was low, extremely low. It was gonna get to a point you couldn't make payroll. So we had to borrow the money from debt service like we've had to do before, which is a tax anticipation notice. It has to be paid back in the fiscal year. So before June 30th, that money has to be paid back. What worries me is what we have left to come in. We're gonna be pushing it. It's gonna be really close in June.
Will we be able to make payroll?
I don't know. It don't look good.
What got us to this?
I don't have no idea.
That's
I
good.
just transferred the
I
money.
understand like a lot of us did, we just, we were talking and we were wondering how did we get to this?
We pay out a whole lot of money that we don't need to pay out because we don't have it. That's hurt us, especially in the 116 fund. And when
What you have to have to make payroll, $160,000 a month?
one payroll is between 80 and 85,000. We pay that 2 times a month. Mr. Jack, how many times does EMS get paid? It's about 25,000
Every 2 weeks?
every 2 weeks. That's just payroll, that's not your monthly bills.
Yeah, I know.
That's not your Gibson Electric, your water.
If we need money before June the 30th, where do we get it?
I have no idea, cause you done borrowed from debt service, you'll have to talk to a bank. Get a loan from a bank, but you're gonna have to pay back debt service before the June 30th, or it's a lot of repercussions.
We're not paying any late charges on anything right now, are we?
I don't know that come from the mayor's office.
Don't think so, that's one of the things
It's
we're
very,
trying to
very,
do.
it's very little bitty.
Yeah,
I'm on top of that.
we had somebody compliment us the other day that we're actually paying bills on time, so that was a good sign, so. We've tried to put out, people are not spending more money than they have to, try to keep it
Right.
as low as you possibly can.
Now, we're gonna have to amend the budget a little early instead of doing it all at one time, at the end,
Feel assured we'll have to amend it as to how much and when, we don't know yet, the closer we get to the end. No, we'll have to amend it.
But I think, in the sheriff's department already over?
I don't know, Brian.
I have no idea.
What do we look like on next year's budget, Daniel? You've been working on it any?
She's getting started on it right now. She's got me the papers to get started on it, so.
Nobody's mentioned to me that we were over budget. Now, but in the past, every 6 months, or 6 months out of the year, we would get a printout on where we were as far as spending and whatnot. So, I haven't seen that this year.
So we had one car put in the budget, right?
We had one car put in the budget, then we had one car that was paid for out of grant.
Okay.
So we just have to be sure to watch everything we do.
But, I think these 2 SROs that's been hired, they wasn't in the budget, right?
That money is not showing up on our budget, on last year's budget.
Now, do we pay that up front when they go just off to the academy?
No, that's gonna come out of salaries. When they go to the academy, that money will come out of salaries. Now, as far as paying for them to go to school, that's not gonna cost us anything.
That's what I heard.
Come out with something new that they're taking care of that for counties and cities.
Yeah.
That money, that's not gonna cost us anything. So we will have to pay for gas and whatnot to get them back and forth to Nashville.
The incidentals.
Yes,
And uniforms and stuff, we have to buy them.
so I'd buy those. We'll have to furnish that. Well, we traded a bunch of weapons that we had, either awarded to us or confiscated with Craig Firearms out of, Knoxville. So we're good on weapons, which is fine.
We got any cars need to be sold?
There's 3 or 4 back there, which they're junk.
Yeah.
But we can still sell them.
You get anything for them, it's better than sitting there.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, EMS report. Jack?
Alright, call volume down quite a bit this month, collections was good. 908, threw a spark plug out, they had to put insert in it, get it back together, get it back running. Charles recommended we did not use it for emergency vehicle, use it only for transports. So, it's parked outside, let something happen, we won't be using it.
That's which one?
908, going for third most miles.
And along those lines, we had Cushman here this week for public hearing, we're trying to get a grant for ambulances. It was 300 and how many thousand, Jack?
Damages,
Yeah. Or the money
the
available for ambulances.
total grant was 440-something thousand, with the county paying, what was it, 27 of that, I think.
County paid 27
I think it was 27.
to get that.
Total amount was 440-something.
How many is that?
Huh?
How many is that?
Well, the price of this thing is gone sky high. The
Yes, sir.
ones like we got, we paid 77,000 for them last
I'm
time.
even gonna get that cheap again.
Now they're gonna be anywhere from 100 to 130,000.
That the gas burners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I know this don't sound good, but I really want to go to the small box, which is gonna cost us quite a bit more. The reason for that though is, those ambulances we got now, you cannot transport two patients on the backboard or anything. Bench seat, we used to put them on in the older truck, was long enough, had strapped on it, we could strap down two patients on the backboard, one on the stretcher, one on the bench. These you cannot, they're not big enough, they don't have the bench seat's not long enough, it has no strap on it.
What about the durability of them?
Huh?
What about the durability of them as opposed to what we're driving right now? Any ideas? I mean,
As far as I know, nobody's having any trouble out there.
But they are more dangerous in a high wind.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, these vans are.
If you're driving 80 to 90 miles an hour, if they have to go that fast to do what they gotta do, they're a lot more dangerous on those bigger trucks because of the cube on it.
Yeah.
If we go to the box units, you're only gonna be able to buy two. If you go with the other, you would probably be able to get three, squeeze three in there. But a van would cost now, I don't know how much, I know you know that, but, I cannot find out why it's wearing the tires out. The back tires is worse than the front tire, which is right opposite what most people would think. But when you walk up to that truck and look at that tire, the outside tread, about that far end, looks real good. From that point on, it gets as slick as that table. Quick, we're getting about 20, maybe 25,000 out of the set of tires. That's it, and then you gotta change them out.
No, y'all be getting more than that, that's for sure.
Nobody can tell me why.
Is that on all of them?
On those two units. And I checked with other services and some of them having the same problem. So, I don't know what's out there.
They're the same brand ambulance that they have.
Well, ours is Ford, I'm not sure what theirs are.
Right.
There may be several, I don't know.
Different things.
I didn't ask.
Yeah, where it is.
But it's a transit. Tire places, they blinded it, they put four-wheel lineman on it and everything else. They checked the rear end and everything. They can't find anything wrong with it. I don't know.
Anything else for the EMS?
Thank you, Jack.
All right, Brian, Sheriff's Report.
We're not done with you yet, Ryan.
Looks like it's not that easy, is it? For the month of January, we held 33 inmates, 9 of those were state. Our numbers have been really low. I still don't wanna get a bunch of state inmates right now, because I'm afraid if we do, that the numbers may go back up and the state will be on us again as far as overcrowding. We don't wanna get back into that ballgame. Wayne told you a minute ago, we hired 2 SROs. They won't be going to the academy till April 2nd. And that'll put them back here probably the first week of July. School starts early August, so at least when school starts back, we'll have 2 in place.
How many are you short right now in, as far as staff?
Deputies, I'm in good shape, I'm fully staffed with deputies. Correctional officers,
Now, you lost a jailer or something, you
lost one over the weekend that's been with us for a while. We've got 3 hired right now, just can't keep. But I understand the president got a good raise, and I understand we're getting another good raise.
I'm telling you.
We can't even use those people for part-time work anymore.
Yeah, that's hurt, no doubt about it.
They're gonna work, they're gonna wake up there and make more money. It's a struggle with COs right now.
What's the rate of pay up there now? Do you know?
Here, about 44,000.
That's a year.
That's a year. And
Plus
with all the overtime,
That's 44.5. I saw it posted on the fence, I think, yesterday.
all the overtime they're working.
Yeah.
they make it even.
One of my friends told me that last year he made $137,500. He worked last Saturday, he made $650. Yeah.
Or 27,000 to 44,000.
Yep.
I heard they're going to 48.
I heard they were getting around.
That's what I was told.
You still can't get enough people, that's what's sad.
No.
You still can't get enough people.
You can't go to the border.
Moving right along.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, sir.
All right, we've got some applications for notaries. Excuse me for coughing, guys, I'm sorry. We got Karen Perkins, Bobby Joe Morgan, Jolie England, Patricia Scott, Gina Hubble, and we also add Emily Farrell. All these people are applying for notaries.
I make a motion, we approve all these notaries.
Motion by Jimmy, and second by Shelby to approve the list for notaries. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Congratulations to you. And I found out notaries can perform weddings. I didn't know that. Isn't that right, Bubba? You told me notaries can perform weddings.
Yes.
So all you guys get ready, they're gonna call you regularly.
We've been doing them anyway.
I've been doing them for a while.
That's right. All right. Number 10, Jeremy is not here, so he's gonna hold on that. Okay, now 11 is John Parker. John.
Yeah, I just had some questions about what's our process, how we do Asher waste. It was brought to my attention that, of course, I know, of course, they done it was done in the very end of this last term before I come back. But it's my understanding that the county bought the 510 cans for the county. And they paid that money up front to Asher. And Asher has since put out 256 cans. Is that right? From what I can tell.
Right, that's 250.
And for the months of 6 months, we were charged for them picking up the full 510 amount of cans, which is double the amount that we've been picking up. And I seen, and it's my understanding that, you know, they were made aware of that and everything like that. And I see the last 2 months that they knocked us back down to $6,000 a month, which to me, it's not good on our side, but at 256 cans, it should have been $6,400 is what we should have been billed. But,
Hello.
so what are we gonna do about the 38,000 that to me we have credit for?
We should actually have credit for more than that because they bought the cans.
Okay.
They bought the cans, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, like you said, that was before we all got there. And Hal was there, and some of you that were on the committee were there. The county bought all the cans,
Right.
510 cans.
Right.
They're only using roughly half.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the deal was they would pay for them because it would be increasing the number of customers.
Mm-hmm.
They have not increased the number of customers. It's
Mhm.
still right at where it was, like you said, 56. So they have stopped paying them just a flat fee now for what they pick up and issuing a credit. We're supposed to be keeping up with it, how many. We have told them, I talked to them 2 weeks ago. Hal was there, Andrew was there. We said we want our buckets.
Mhm.
We want our buckets. And we said we want them in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Today is 2 weeks. I called him and he didn't answer.
Mhm.
So maybe he was busy, but he didn't answer my call today.
Mhm.
And, I mean, you got options.
Well,
You know, one of the options is to make it mandatory to use all your buckets, which I don't know that you wanna do that.
Right.
The other is, if they can come up with the money and pay us back in a lump sum, which he said he couldn't 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
That'd be a great thing to me.
Right,
If
I
he could
agree.
pay us a lump sum. I'm
Mhm.
perfectly great with that.
Mhm.
If we can.
Well, the way I see, of course, you know, the amount of cans that we bought that we don't use, I mean, like I said, either pay us for them or stick them somewhere here like that, you know, they're ours, you know, anyway, as far as that. But the way I look at it, and I could be looking at this wrong, of course, it's obvious that everybody, them included, was made aware that they were double billing us.
Right.
I look at it as like a light bill. You know, you got $100 light bill and you go up there and put $1,000 on it, you don't know again until you use $1,000 worth of light. I don't think we should pay them a dime until if, you know, however that needs to be worked out.
Balances out.
What they
You know,
gonna, what
because
they gonna do?
What if they go out of business tomorrow?
And
We're gonna
that's
take
the
them to
thing.
court.
Well, they're gonna have to go out of business.
Yeah.
How much longer are we under contract?
2 years.
How much?
2-year contract.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's 2 years run out, I'm asking.
Yeah, 2-year contract.
We're just in the first
When it
year.
runs out, we don't need to be in garbage business anymore, guys, because that's not,
That
that's,
was July, wasn't it?
that's not usually what's going on right now.
August, first August.
Yeah, the contract was signed.
Well, I'd love for them to pay us for our cans and pay us for the overage.
How much is the loan?
Well, the cans were $41,000.
This might be a how question, but being that it was that way, is that not a breach of
That's
contract?
what I was wondering.
There you go.
I think we kind of we told them they had 510 customers. Okay, that's why we came up with 510 buckets.
Right.
Of course, it was on Asher to put the buckets out. When we began to have a problem, I know I spoke to some folks here in the courthouse and said, you know, somebody's gonna have to get out there and follow this trash truck. Find out exactly how many cans we have, because right now, the best number we have is 510. Okay. We got that done, but we got it done in December. In December, I think we found out the number was 2 and some change. And at that point, Bill got paid at $256, which is part of the contract. The contract reads that we pay them $25 per residential customer. And we have the ability in the contract to confirm the number, okay? Now, we did a little, part of this was a little bit of a business decision. Asher's brand new. We knew they don't have a lot of customers. We're now their largest customer. We want them, they're the only bidder on this trash situation. We weren't gonna get somebody else to come in here and do what it is that they're doing. And frankly, we're not gonna get the service. I mean, if my mom's trash can needs to come to the curb, either I gotta go do it, but Asher will get out of the truck and go pick it up and pull the stuff back in. They've been performing well. We think we have an agreement, last I heard, we had an agreement where they're gonna repay us that $73,000. Okay, I haven't made that into a contract yet, no, and been asked to.
Now, who made that agreement?
This is something that has
Yeah,
been.
we talked with them,
We didn't.
Denny was there, because Denny was there originally, he was there, Angie was there, Hal was there, I was there, and Mr. and Miss Asher were there.
So we understand the $73,000, that's the price. The deal always was, we were gonna furnish the cans, they were gonna pay us back. Okay, but that's not in the contract, because no one ever, in my small brain, I didn't see that as a contract issue when it comes to trash pickup. The amount of overage, they agreed to pay us back. I don't think it's a good plan to say, we're gonna stop paying you for 3 months, and put these guys out of business. That's my suggestion. But we give them a chance to
But,
do it.
I mean, is that not kinda like,
It's not
in
breaching.
no, it's not a breach of contract, but, you know, you splitting hairs, but
I
they're
understand.
operating off of our money.
But we want them to operate off our money and then we get our money back. We don't wanna kill the cow because we don't like the taste of the milk.
Could you work like something like a half or 3/4 or something to get the difference paid back to us?
At this point, they've agreed to do so, and we've only given them 2 weeks at this point to kind of really push them along, so I think we revisit this next month and see where we are. That's my plan.
So what was their way of paying it back?
What's the
They're
time
supposed to
frame?
pay us cash. They're supposed to give us our buckets.
In full, on the
I don't know
overcharges as
that-
well?
We never really got down to brass taxes, whether they're gonna give us 10 grand a month, or whether we're gonna give us back some, 5,000 or whatever.
There's no timeline on when we get paid back?
Within 2 years, they will have it all back within the.
Within 2 years.
Within the end of this contract, they'll have it all back. I don't know that they'll go out of business with us being their biggest customer, like Hal said, they may go out of business and we're in trouble
Which
then.
is July 21st, 2022.
I don't know, it's not a good situation, I hate it that the cans are paid for on the front, but.
Well, I mean, cans are a problem too, but to me, the double billing
And
More so.
if y'all want to not pay them for that length of time.
Well, I think they need to be here, and,
We'll have them here next month if you want.
I mean, 'cause 2 years is, 2 years is a long time, cause in 2 years, they made their money, they might not wanna fool with us again anyway.
I don't get that sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it may be, it may not.
I'm like to say, I think they found a niche.
Well, I just don't like the thought of, we sitting here operating off borrowed money in a garbage place and wherever else has got $70-something thousand of borrowed dollars.
Mallory, you wanna say something?
What's bad is that money, we paid out all that money. That 116 fund, we drained it. So when we borrowed that 100,000 from the 500,000 to put into that 116 fund, we're getting by. But it's not 100,000 in there to pay back. And they've got our money that we need right now because our fund is gonna be negative. So I think that's kind of what bothers. Come June, that fund will be negative, probably before then, but for sure come June, it's gonna be negative. So they're working on our money. That's what the problem is.
And I understand small businesses, I don't wanna have to see nobody close their doors because but I think 2 years is unacceptable.
Yeah, very much.
We'll get them in here next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to be here next month to look at us.
Bring them in next month. Let's give them a time frame, whatever y'all feel like. We'll go.
Danny, how do they do that? They bill us and then we handle it from there, how's it handled?
Angie, you explain how they do
On the billing, do they bill you and then you send them a check?
Yes.
Or, so you don't know who's on the trash thing, who's not, right?
Yes, I get a list of, I have the list, it's in that packet I gave you of everybody.
And then, another question while we're on this subject, and it might be in here and I just can't find it. What do we do, or can we do anything? Of course, I know like with the cities, had the same thing, they got trash picked up, but the cities have something to hold over the customer's head, which is a water bill, usually. What do we do?
That has been a problem that has been
That's why we should never do that.
decided that we were gonna do.
I don't know if it's even legal, it's a house question, taxes, but you got people that rent it, you know what I mean? So we don't have anything we can hold over their head,
We can't cut off a light bill or a water bill, anything like that.
And I understand the whole idea behind why this was done was to help curb the dumpster costs at the incinerator, I get that, totally, and if we could work out something that works, but, the way it sits right now is not working, in my opinion.
Roughly, what's the difference now, what we were paying monthly now, even though it's not perfect?
For public, we were paying, 1 month's bill was $35,997.83. That was 1 month for a public.
We'll go right back to that.
Yep,
And what's it down to now?
6,000.
6,000.
And
Right,
then
so,
the next-
it works,
The
it's
next
helped.
month
It's in the
was,
right direction, but it's still in the hole.
Yeah.
the next month was $36,844.11. I mean, it was anywhere from 36 to 20-something thousand every month.
But when it gets down to it, we're not getting any net profit off this anyway, even if the money's right, are we?
We're just
No.
We're just doing a courtesy, so
Provide
so
service.
that's why I say there needs to be another way, we can't do anything right now, but when it does come time, we need to revisit this.
But I'd like to have them here so we can talk about,
Yeah, exactly.
getting our money.
We will make sure, I'll call him again tomorrow to tell him we'll give us the next quarter.
Danny, is that $6,000, is that including what they haul off and down the incinerator too?
They don't haul from, Asher doesn't haul from the incinerator, Camo does that.
Who does?
Camo.
Camo,
Camo.
which is supposed to be down in Charlotte's place up there.
Oh, okay.
The only thing Republic has now, and Garrett, you can make sure I'm telling it right, the only thing that we deal with Republic now is the compactor.
Yes,
They only take that one. Camo does the big 40 cubic yard trailers.
Yeah.
To give an idea, Republic was like $8,000 a month, $800 a pull. Camo's $500 a pull, so we're
Yeah.
saving money on that, but garbage is still just,
But it's always gonna be a headache.
it's
seen it before, last day.
What about the incinerator then, y'all get the park and bridge?
Okay, the last I talked to the people at the home office. Garrett and I have been out there, we've taken pictures, and the plenum has got an issue. You've got the fan works. For anybody who doesn't know, you've got the gigantic incinerator there, and in the back, there's a hole, and the fan blows the air in there, and the metal up there right at the edge has disintegrated. So Garrett's been working on it, we've had Scott Price and, Brad Edelman, they're looking at getting that fixed. So we talked to the company said, if you can get a piece of metal find good metal to attach it to, don't buy a new piece. So hopefully they can get that done. They were supposed to meet Saturday, did you talk to them?
No, sir, nobody ever talked.
Brad and Scott were supposed to get out there Saturday to look at it when I talked to them last, so.
Now, we can still burn trees and stuff there, right?
We can burn in the incinerator when we get it fixed. We can't do open burning out.
We can't do open now?
Can't do open burning, correct?
Yes, we can, as long as the incinerator's down.
Right, that's what
And it's only gotta be certain things. You can burn, but it's got to be specific things.
these tree limbs, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. No painted wood, no
Treated
wood, no, I mean,
plastics in.
and she wants it perfect. I mean, she'll ask me to send her a picture if I got a fire going, so she can just see if we're doing anything wrong.
That's what I want to know about this.
But we'll get Asher here next month. Hey, John.
Have we got the power fixed down there yet?
Brad Edelman has contacted me, and, he had to go to Paducah, Kentucky to get a pole, get some electric certified. This pole he's got to put up, and when he puts the pole up, they're gonna set a transformer and run it down to it, so. We're just waiting on Brad to get the pole put up.
That's what he told me the other day, that he had to go plumb Paducah now to get it.
Look, I got that one behind my shop, it's a 20-footer, 6x6, he'd be welcome too.
That's the same thing, I got a yard full of things up there, and, I was in Paducah last week, if I'd have known it, I'd have picked it up.
You might tell him.
I'll look
I
and
will.
see, you'll see if that one, I had it out there, it's got the meter base and everything on it. I used it at Irisburg on the last house I did.
If he needs it, and he's got it, I got the trailer sitting there, I can tractor we can load it on there and it'll be done in a
It's
morning.
still back there, I got 2 trailers right there
Yeah.
where they are.
But if you'll call me and let me know, you got my phone number, huh?
Yes, sir.
Just let me know what you need.
Okay.
We'll take care of it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Garrett, thank you for what you do out there. Thank you, John. I will make sure Asher's right here.
And
Yes.
he does a great job out there. I was out there with him that day that I called you, and there was a, little issue out there, we took care of that issue.
Right.
And, he had it cleaned up, all the stuff was separated, everything was real good, so thank you for what you do.
So it's already an nasty job.
And it's gonna be, extra hard, the wind comes up in March and stays
Right.
up. But he does a good job out there.
Thank you, Garrett. All right, next thing we have is the audit report. Greg Howe finished our audit, and as usual, you're always gonna have something. Doesn't matter what you do, you got something.
Yep.
Basically, and I've got copies, I don't know if you guys have copies of it in your packet or not, but I do. Be welcome to get you all one. Like, several findings, went up the general and the general debt service funds required material audit adjustment for proper financial statement. And this again was for last year's audit that ended, it was 21-22. A lot of it's accounting procedures, recurring audit findings, internal controls, things like that. Which now they do, they get the bank accounts reconciled, all of this, and we've gone over it with everybody here. A lot of it's just paperwork things, making sure that this matches here. They got our recommendations. Part of it, travel policy, purchase orders, things like that. Training to make sure all our commissioners have been trained, those kind of things. Be sure you submit your annual reports on times, things like that. So I've got copies of this. If y'all want it, I'd be glad for you to see it. Of course, some of it is stuff we can do real easy. One of it is an audit committee, and that's something I'm going to have in just a second. Some of it's real simple stuff to do, and some of it's just paying attention, following the policies, so. But I'll get y'all all copies of this, so. We have been audited. We've done that. All right, have something I talked to, TDOT on. If y'all remember, a couple months ago, the young lady was here, and we agreed to accept the grant from TDOT for the sidewalk out there. When TDOT gives you the money, they've got some rules that you have to follow. They sent some paperwork. Jimmy had to sign it, I had to sign it. And it's basically saying that we will follow their rules because it's their money. So, you know, they will help us coordinate that project, but I just have to have it where the county board says that we will follow the rules of TDOT. And we have to write a letter and send it back to them, so. It's their money they're giving us, so.
I'll make one.
Okay, a motion?
Second.
And a second, okay. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. No money with that yet, so I'll write the letter on that. Okay. And I mentioned audit committee. We have an audit committee, y'all may not know it, but we have an audit committee. And one of the findings we had is the audit committee hadn't met in a couple of years. And you gotta meet at least once per year. Even if they meet 10 minutes or meet 12 hours, you gotta meet at least once a year. And that was an audit finding that we were in trouble on. So I have got an audit committee that I'd like to propose to you. I talked to all three of them, they're CPAs. They're all willing to do it. They realize it's not something that come in every week, but they're all willing to help. It is Albert Markham, Pete Kaiser, and Sonia Covey. They're all CPAs.
Sounds good.
If y'all are good with those.
Motion.
Motion by Johnny and second by Jimmy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, thank you. Okay, now I got a couple other things when you get into other business. We'll go over some of those first. Michael, if you don't mind, I'll let you do your part. This is Michael LaChapelle. I know y'all have met him before. I think our first meeting he was here. He is the director of 3 counties and health departments. If you are mean to him, he won't give you a shot.
No, you're still getting it.
Oh, all right.
Before I pass something out, did you go on? Just have to follow along with me.
Thank you.
Everybody have one?
Yeah.
That's the one I need. So, the health department, Tennessee Department of Health has, received some ARPA money, has received ARPA money, and looking to distribute that out to the counties, for their buildings. So as you know, the county health department is a county building, but the staff inside of it are state employees, so there's this partnership back and forth. Now, in those packets that you have, package really just some photos I've taken on the health department to kind of highlight the things I would like to get addressed, taken care of. So before we get into the small things, here's the idea. It's a grant for up to $495,500, but it requires a match from the county, 25% match. So 25% of that is gonna end up being $123,900. And that would be the portion on the county being reimbursed $371,600. So it'd be the county paying upfront, the following month being reimbursed by Ernst & Young, the state. Last year, when we first heard we were getting our money, we were told, go out, talk to your mayors. They got their own ARP money, ask if they will earmark some of that to help out with their building. Thought we were getting our money right after that. Guess what? A year passed by, here we are, I'm talking about it, bringing it up in front of y'all. So some things have changed on the timeline. So what I would like to do with these renovations and help improve this building would be not only to help update it, but there's some functionality things that as a health department, some of these things need to be addressed. There you have your typical wanting to remove the carpet for high traffic box flooring because it can be a sanitation issue whenever chairs. There has been, my biggest issue, and everything highlighted on that front page are the things that, first thing, something like this money. To be honest with you, a roof has been a problem since I walked in the door 2.5 years ago. Through this packet, you might see quite a few stains in our roof. I've run through a couple packets of ceiling tiles just so it's at least presentable. That's been my number one. Either a new roof membrane or something with a pitch if that's possible. This building was built in '99. I got one in another health department that is structurally, I don't have to worry about my roof. That one was built in '81, this is '99. To keep this building operational for the years to come, that has to happen. So.
I don't wanna be negative, but at the moment, we can't do that. You've heard our money.
Oh, I've definitely.
I mean, no, it needs to be done, there's no doubt about it, but we can't do it right now.
Does this grant solely come from the county, or is this just a help with the match?
So the county is only responsible for 25% of it, the city takes care of the other.
But the county
pays first.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is, there's not a line item in the health department's budget that, you know, I mean, the health department itself couldn't.
Not,
Okay.
I mean, I could do a coat of paint,
Yeah.
I'm sure, but there's things that, in all honesty, that's a structural thing.
Yeah.
There's another pot of money unrelated to this immunization. I'm trying to get a lean-to put on the side of the building, because during COVID we had, it was hard. Generators for the building, being paid by the state. And to be honest, what they're giving us for that lean-to, is what one like O'Brien or Dyer, I don't know if y'all been to those, they have new carports behind there.
It's like the banks.
Yeah, we would request the same amount of money we used to lean to, so in all honesty, if a better generator that could help run the place, so maybe that's completely aside, but, this money is solely for the structure, and functionality of the health department, nothing immunization or nurse.
Like I said, I'm not against it, it's just right now,
This
we're not
money-
feasibly.
What's the tablet?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It would, fiscal year ends in July 2024, would be July 2024.
I mean, it's possible then, but I mean, right now, it's just. I mean, you know, you talking about, you've heard our issues.
Yeah.
That needs it, and there's no doubt about it.
So when's the bottom line?
Drop dead date.
Last dollar has to be spent by the end of July 2024.
Has to be spent.
When's the
For the grant.
Yeah, for the grant, to apply for the grant.
I mean, I can get that, get the money sent, or get the money requested, that's not a problem. There's a letter that I ended up handing, to the mayor, which is the way to apply.
Yeah.
The money is already in the hands of the health department.
Right.
Ernst & Young's the middleman to make sure it gets dispersed the way it should.
What I mean is when is the very last day that we can say, yeah, we're gonna supply your match or we're not?
I can get back on that one, I do not know that, okay. Yeah, it's $500,000 question.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think we talked about it, if it works out, when we get in a little bit better financial situation, we wouldn't have to do the whole thing, you could do part of it, right?
You could do, yeah, it is a 75% match. It's, the state stops whenever that almost $500,000 comes in. If we were to, let's say, I want my name on the, or I want the health department name on the front of the building, cause we have vaccine dropped off at Lake County Primary Care all the time, you can see that being a real issue. Between that, let's say I get the sign on the front and then the sign in the front yard. That's $100,000, that's all I do, y'all's portion 25.
So you can go back and say, you said your biggest concern was the roof. You could regroup and say, okay, we gotta rethink this, all we're gonna be able to do is the roof. You could get those figures together, and then the match would be 25%.
The job will have to be bid out by the county through the procurement process as it should be. And you would be reimbursed at 75% of whatever is spent, whether it's just for that roof project, whether it's a roof project and a.
That's gonna be the vast majority of the bill though, is the roof.
The roof is
That's the major.
I'm rolling dice real hard trying to get the roof.
Some of these guys are worn out about the stove and some other things.
One, yeah,
That's all worn
the
out.
highlights are what I would like to go for. The roof, if I can make it red, that's the thing that has to happen. The other ones are bigger issues.
Like there hasn't been a name on the building since it's been built.
I'm sorry?
There hasn't been a name on the building since it's been built.
You're right, but what there has been on that second page, it has the sign here.
Good idea, good idea.
Good idea, it's just, it's easy to pass that up. It is, I mean, it's happened so many times. But in reality, this isn't something that y'all are tied to, it can be, we can either kick the can down the road, I can find out a date, it has to be.
Yeah, I think it's, get a date to the mayor, cause I mean, I think I'm speaking for everybody, we'd love to, you know, do what we can, we just gotta figure out what we can.
I got you. All right, I appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do, Michael, we appreciate our help, probably, for doing a good job.
Didn't hear that.
This next item I've got is something that, the highways, I've been in touch with TDOT this week, and I know some of us have gone up the highways, you got 79 highway, you got 79 back here, you got 78 north up here where they did what they did, it was not paving. If y'all haven't gone up there, they're worse than they were before, so I talked to TDOT again. I actually got a call back from TDOT today, they have been up here, they came last Friday and looked at them. They saw the holes, Dennis got out there with orange paint, it was marking holes and
They were there again today.
they were there again today. What he told me, Todd is who I talked to, and I understand Todd's situation, he said, I would love to pave it all completely if I could. He said, we're stuck with what National tells us to do with money, but he did come out and look at it. As he said, I don't think it's the plows, the ice storm, he said, I don't think it's the plows that damaged it as much. It's just the fact that it didn't hold up in general, which is what we thought before, it was a bad surface. He said there's 2 coats of that DBST that he talked about, and he said it basically split between 2 layers. So they're going to spray the spots, fill in with some of the same material, but they're gonna wait till it gets drier and warmer. He said, I promise you, we know your situation. He says, if we can get you some pavement as quick as we can, we'll try, but when it gets drier and warmer, they're gonna go back with what they've done. But I know you guys, that's y'all's districts, and down there in the south, that's y'all's district. They do know about it with TDOT, so.
So one of the other things you can add to it on January the 30th, and if I'd have known they were gonna be there today, there was a pretty bad accident right there that after they defrosted, de-thawed everything, those potholes holding water. We had a truck totaled out up there, and I've got pictures and all that I'm gonna give to you, and you can send them to him. It didn't tear the electrical pole down, it scratched it up pretty good. But, both doors on the truck, on the right side, 4-door, 4-wheel drive truck, hit one of those holes and it sideways, and when it hit that dry ground, you know what happened. It went back and then off the road, that kind of thing. But, nobody was hurt, luckily, other than the vehicle tore all to pieces. So, and we've had so far 37 windshield, the people that have called. Now, I can't tell you about 79. I just know about 78 from city limits to the Kentucky line.
You can guarantee you've had to have someone 79, I would think, without a doubt, so.
There's potholes in the new road though, the smooth asphalt.
Even the smooth one.
Yeah.
That's what they stopped at today.
Yeah.
And then our culverts, where we tried to show them before, but, our culverts, a lot of those culverts put in the late 50s, in the 60s. What has happened is when that backs up, that water is up at the top. What's happened is the culverts are rusted underneath the top of those things. You can put all the asphalt and dirt and rock in there that you wanna do. And when trucks and harvest season comes in, spring and fall, they come through there, they're gonna hit that and it's gonna push right straight through. And I had a hole and we pulled some of that stuff out. And it's because the top of the culverts are rusted through. At one point, they're gonna have to pull those culverts out. And I hate to say this, but where the gentleman had the wreck in a big truck, where the whole thing, it knocked the truck off, the bed came off and, you know, everything came off. they've gotta go back with concrete on those covers. Those metal covers are not gonna hold up with that kind of weight and, long term. Now, they can fix them short term with the plastic and metal, but, they're gonna have to put the concrete like they did at the bridge up there. If they'll do that, I think that'll fix the problem.
Well, y'all guys have done a good job to try to keep everybody informed on it. They know that Lake County's got issues with it, so Jackson knows, Memphis knows, Nashville knows. We've got the legislators in it too, so we know that's fair. Okay, I got a couple more issues, and then anybody else? Another issue I was gonna let y'all know, some of you may know, some of you may not, but Matt Forrester retired from the Port Authority, and under the rules, the mayor gets to appoint a new member, so I have appointed Shelby Barker. Now, I don't think anybody knows the river any better than Shelby, so, he's been around a long time, he got some experience, and I know he looks out for what's, not that everybody else doesn't either, but I know Shelby knows the river very well, and I think he'll be a good addition to the river.
Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, one other thing I'm gonna bring up. Last month, we talked about the, HIS plan, and,
Hey,
yes, go ahead. Yes.
Hal, do we need to suspend the rules on that?
Suspend the rules.
On what we're fixing what he's fixing to bring us about the money? Do we need to, since we're respending, or are we good with the original, and we're gonna change them?
I think you're getting ready to, I think he's getting ready to announce you that the deal is changed.
Oh, I know that, I'm just saying, okay, okay.
I wasn't here last time, so we kinda got two steps we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Okay? First of all, I think
Can I tell them what we're gonna do first?
You tell them first.
Yeah, let me tell them, and Hal, can you tell us the way to go back? I'm not being rude.
I'm jumping as,
Okay. All right, last month we did vote to sell the HIS building, and the terms were not the best by any means, and everybody has the right to vote as they want, that's their business, and that's fine. And some of us have talked to, some people have talked to Nashville's, they gave us some scenarios, they recommended against doing it. Actually, I talked to Mike Daly, you actually could do it because we were not lending them money, but I want everybody to be as comfortable as possible. I've gone and talked to Angie, talked to her more than once, and she texted me back, and we have talked in person, and Angie has got her folks together, and they're going to pay the $150,000 all on the front end, every bit of it. It is not going to be a spread out payment. They will not take possession until we're paid, but they will pay it, $150,000 on the front end. They get the key when we get paid. So I've talked to her on that. I've got the email if anybody wants to see it, and I have talked to her in person. So Hal, if you had explained to him, I didn't mean to jump in front of him.
No, I was wrong.
we're
We're not voting on anything, so it does not.
well,
matter.
We have a couple of things.
we're gonna vote, but we got a couple of procedural things. Number one, the HIS building is surplus property, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion that, HIS is surplus property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm running your meeting, but I'm kind of getting this to the end. Okay.
Good.
I have a contract for a sale of real estate to an outfit called Nutrifish, Tennessee. HIS building description, $150,000 payable in closing. The only concession we made is that we'll pick up the closing costs as opposed to them. Otherwise, it's gonna be a warranty deed and a check. And I think it will go to the trustee.
Yeah, she still has to pay the recording.
The check will eventually go to the trustee will have some
It'll
money.
go to the mayor's office.
Well, eventually it will end up with the trustee. I'm thinking that maybe
Still not gonna be enough.
it's not enough, but it's
It's gonna help.
whatever,
It's definitely gonna help.
it helps.
No, it's not enough, I agree.
We're not saying it's enough, we're saying it helps. We bought it for 50, we're selling it for 150. Closing costs will be about $750.
That's not bad.
I mean, I work pretty cheap, guys, come on.
And she'll pay all the recording fees.
Well, the recording fees are it's 573 plus 96.
Something like that.
Well, no, we don't need the 96 anymore, so it's 573.
Now, are they buying the land too?
Yes.
This building?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
What's all there together? It's the current property.
Roughly 10 acres. or 7 acres, whatever it is.
I think it's 9, it's 12 altogether, isn't it, with the building?
Yes.
You take the building out, I think it's 9
Right,
acres.
I've seen two different things, he's got the description, I've seen 12 and I've seen 10.
I got, according to the legal property description from the last several times we bought and sold this thing, it has, 10 acres more or less.
That includes the building?
Of course. Okay. You don't want that silly.
Of course, we'd already voted to sell it, but the good thing is the terms are different, has to be declared surplus, and you approve his contract, it's less than 2 pages and it happened. It's a
Well,
very
I
simple
mean, it's,
contract.
I don't ever intend on getting, well, you wanna know who, what, where, when, why, and how. The only movable process right now is our closing date. She needs a little time to get her money together. I don't think pushing it from March the 1st to maybe March the 15th or March the 30th is really gonna be all that detrimental to the county. We can use the money, of course, sooner rather than later, but if she's going from 10,000 plus 24,000 over 2 years plus 116 at the end, and she's pushing that instead to 150, I say we give her as much time and as much rope as she needs. Otherwise, you know, it's a warranty deed sale. We're not making any warranties with regards to the building. Is it as is, where is. Intend to turn it loose and let them have at it, just like you would anybody else who buys a piece of property from someone.
Do you need, we need that?
I have a copy of the contract if you need to see it, but I think I've already just pretty much nailed out the terms and conditions.
But she's
Anybody,
paying it all up front.
All up front.
she will pay $150,000 plus at closing. Yeah, the plus will be some monies,
Yes.
but she will pay us $150. We're not prorating the taxes, so there's no taxes right now for us to prorate. She's gonna have to pay her own taxes. It's pretty much, the only thing, like I said, the only thing that we conceded on was she wanted us to go ahead and pay the closing cost, which is my cost. And I put that, I had to give the mayor a number, so I've given him a number that I think we're all comfortable with. Does anybody got a question? I think you need a motion and a second to approve the contract.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, if we can do it like this, if the motion, and how you verify with me, the motion needs to be that we change the terms of payment to $150,000 in full at the start, that the property is declared surplus, and that we approve the contract how it's created as written.
With the caveat that I might have to move the closing date, currently at March 1st, but I might have to move the closing date out in order to let her get her money together.
Give you time to get done.
Okay. So I had a motion from
Motion from Shelby,
Motion from Shelby,
second from Johnny.
second from Johnny, okay? And now we don't have any money we're spending on, well, we need a roll call on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's do a roll call.
Let's go a roll call.
Yeah, let's go a roll call.
Barker,
Yes.
Dean,
No.
Hatley,
No.
Hayes,
No.
Tippit,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Whitson,
Yes.
Yates.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Guys, that's the only other thing I had on other business. Does anybody else have other business? Anybody else?
We hadn't applied for any house grants, have we?
CDBG, when I talked to Brandon Orr at USDA in Union City, Brandon told me they are not doing housing grants this year. They may do them next year.
Well, that'd be good, though. I tell you, these last ones, we had to really hunt to find somebody that, and we wound up one out ready to get the second.
Right.
So, I just don't believe in blowing money like that.
And I've had people ask me, that's why I called him, but he said none this year, maybe next year.
I'm gonna plan a motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Second, okay, motion second, all in favor, say aye. All right, thank you guys and girls.